So Leetcode practice time. So two goals. The first one is to see how to solve this problem, and then we are doing some coding work on top of that. And the second one is to see how to solve this problem in a real interview. So let's get started. So remember, the first step is always to try to understand the question. And if there is anything unclear, please ask some clarification questions to ask the interviewer to clarify. And at the same time, think about some edge cases which you need to pay special attention to during the coding part. So let's read through this problem. So it's called read n characters given read4. Alright, so given a file and assume that you can only read the file using a given method read4. Implement a method to read n characters. So the API read4 is 4 consecutive characters from this file, and then writes those characters into the buffer array buff4. Okay, so then the return value is the number of actual characters read. Okay, so note that read4 has its own file pointer, much like FP in C. So definition, this is the definition for this API, I would say, read4 API. Alright, so taking a look at this example, when we say we read 4 from the file, hence read4 returns 4. And then the second call will return 1 because there is only one character left there. Alright, so by using the read4 method, implement the method read that reads n characters from the file and store it in the buffer array above. And consider that you cannot manipulate the file directly. So example 1, ABC read4 returns 3. Example 2, read the 5 characters, return 5. Example 12, when n is equal, so read 12 characters from the file and returns 12. And read the 5 characters from this, returns 5. Alright, so there are a couple things I think that worth to consider. The first one, like if there are less characters than n, or there are more characters than n, so something like that. And also because each time we read 4 characters, which will be used and which will be assigned to the final buff and which is not. So quite some edge cases to consider, but don't be afraid of this. Let's take a look at this. So the finding solution part, I don't really think there is a solution worth to mention. It's more about the coding part, thinking about all of the edge cases, and also keep the code as neat as possible. So the third part is coding, and this question is mostly about coding. So for coding parts, the correctness and the readability, and of course your speed for coding. So let's see how to do it. So read buff and n. Alright, so let's see. I would say how to do it. So if I have let's say I have the copy car index as equal to 0, and I also should have the car of the buff 4 as new car 4. Okay, and what else is missing? So let's say we also need to have something called the bats car red. So car red is going to is going to record how many characters we read by calling the Read4 API. So let's see how to do that. So if copy car index, alright, so it's like, well, the copy car index is smaller than n, then what should we do? So we will say, okay, car read is equal to read the 4 to the buff 4 to the buff 4. Okay, and we are also going to say, okay, int I is equal to 0, I is smaller than car read plus I, and then we are going to say, okay, buff okay, so it's here. So I would say if within this one we see that copy car index is equal to n, then pretty much we just need to return the n here. Like, we read more characters than we need by calling the Read4. Otherwise, we need to have the buff copy index plus is equal to buff for I. Alright, and then so if copy index is equal to 4, then we just return n because we have hit it. Otherwise, it's possible that we read less characters than n. So I think this well branch didn't catch that piece. So how to do it? So if we read less than 4 characters, then that means we need to, okay, then it means we need to, alright, so let's say the car read is equal to 4, and so and the car read is equal to 4. So while it's equal to 4, then we first read it. If there are less characters, then it means we have reached the end of the file. So, and then we finally will return the copy car index. Okay, so let's take a look at this one. So for example, for example 1, so it is going to work because within this for loop we are actually encountering this one. So okay, so if I is okay, so the next time, so okay, so this one should work. Let's see this one. So n is equal to 5. So first iteration is going to finish this for loop, and the next step, Read4 is going to return 1, and then we copy it and copy it into this, and then copy index is equal to 5 now, but we are not, and we are also jumping out of this for loop, and we are going to jump into this while loop because this condition is reached. So we will return copy car index for this example as well. Alright, so let's see if this one. So I think this one is going to hit this if. Alright, so okay, so I think overall it looks good to me. Okay, so this is copy car index. Alright, so it's accepted. Let's make the submission. Okay, it's accepted. Quite lucky. So I would say the example 1, 2, 3, 4 are good. But I think it might be worse to set up some other test cases. Let's say if we have A, B, C, D, E, 5 characters, and then we read N as, let's say, 7. So in that case, we have the while loop to finish at least more than one round, and also which reached this one, which is a car read equal to 4. So definitely check, make sure that the test coverage is good enough when you come to the last step, which is testing. So in the test step, you're going to go through some example, explain how this piece of code is going to work, like what I did briefly before, and also try to come up with some different test cases to make sure there's enough test coverage. So that should be good enough for this question. So if you have any question or concern about this coding puzzle, please leave some comments below, and if you feel this a bit helpful, please give me a thumb up, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.